I'd only ever seen Close Encounters once or twice, so I did go back and watch it. I know you did too. And then we went out last week and we saw Disclosure Day.
It's time for a random review.
All right, welcome to the Original Geek Random Review. We set the topic, the dice set the direction. We know what we're reviewing, just not how.
All right, and today it is Disclosure Day, the new Spielberg alien movie. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, it's about aliens. So, and I am going to roll first for Mr. Steven Scarfo.
All right, so a quick recap for anybody who's new or checking one of these out for the first time, because we do put these out separately. We roll a 20-sided dice. We use a list of topics that we don't know what it is. So whatever we're going to talk about, we have to go purely on having just seen the movie and talking about it. We don't know what it's going to be. So join us. It's going to be fun.
Here we go. 17. The disorienting opening, a successful wisdom check. Spielberg dropping the audience directly into Act 2. A brilliant creative gamble by entirely skipping the close encounter and starting the movie mid-chase with Daniel already on the run. Spielberg forces the audience to think on their feet, capturing the exact confusion of a world on the brink of world-shattering.
I like this question. I really do, because I hadn't thought about it in that way, but they absolutely did. I didn't think about, I've done some kind of, I guess, research or whatever, like how to write a movie in Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. Like, I'm sure if you've had any kind of interest in movies, you've looked at the structure. It never occurred to me that that's what he did. He dropped us right into Act 2. There's no opening. There's no slow burn. There's no getting to know anybody. It's just, holy crap, what's going on? He's running. And you learn about the people and all of the details in flight with them, because even though Daniel's one of the main protagonists, we don't know anything about him and the people he runs into because he's on the run. He doesn't know anything about them. So we learn with him. I know we've talked about this in the past with different movies, how we like when we go on the journey with the character, it makes it that much more compelling. And I really do think it did. God, I really do. I like this question. It put us in his shoes quite literally while he's trying. We don't know anything about him, so we don't know. I mean, you kind of assume he's a good guy. That's typically how they start it, but he could have been one of the bad guys. Sorry, another spoiler. Daniel's a good guy. But yeah, I think it was great. I think it was a great way to take what could have been a slow and sleepy movie and make it more action oriented. Because we talked about Close Encounters, and they don't really waste a lot of time, but there is a lot of build-up. And I would argue even the middle of Act 2, not that it slows down, but it does drag a little bit because they kind of really try to pummel home the situation for Richard Dreyfuss's character. So I really agree with that. I liked it a lot.
Interesting that you mentioned we don't know if he's the bad guy, and I hadn't really thought of that because I didn't see. I saw the trailer like we all did. I wasn't sure if Colin Firth's character was the bad guy. Colin Firth is often the good guy. Mm-hmm. So you're right. At first, we didn't know whether we were going to root for this guy. But I also, because we have no exposition, I really want you to watch this movie with your mom and let me know how that goes. Because
you mean me personally?
Yes. So, because Steve's mom, I know we've referenced this briefly before on this podcast.
It's a torture.
Always ask questions. And right from the get-go, like no one knows what's going on. So what? Hey, what's
no? It's about? Like literally,
what's that thing do?
Title card, fade in. There's a guy in the corner stabbing someone. Who is that? Like, I don't know.
Why is he doing this?
Like the movie just started 3 seconds in. 100%.
Why is the Bridget Jones Diary guy being so mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong. She would never.
I need you to watch this again with your mom. All right. Shout out to Mrs. Scarfo. And then just to double down, I agree. I think this really made for an exciting moment. And also your comment about things not going that fast paced. And one of the things that differentiates Spielberg's alien movies, except for War of the Worlds, which was why we don't want to count it, is they're not action movies generally. There's some action sequences, but no one wouldn't consider it, an action movie like The Terminator. So I think that it is interesting to have that start. It was different.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely dragged us in, which I liked. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Oh, nope. I rolled a 16. That's the same one. Hold on. 19. Successful charisma check. The train car climax. The frantic vehicle meets locomotive escape sequence. Classic propulsive Spielberg action. Relying on a privately owned railway in New Jersey for practical stunt coordination, the sequence is pure charisma hit. Combined with roaring classic John Williams score, it's a masterclass of modern big screen spectacle.
So funny that we have two action
After saying it's not an action movie.
So it was interesting so in this scene are the two people we're rooting for, the two people who we learn have been, spoiler, pause. So
yeah, hold on, go watch the movie.
They have
come
been that were abducted. It's Daniel and what is my God, why can't I think of her character's name?
Margaret.
What's that?
Margaret.
Daniel and Margaret are in a car, and they're being they're stopped at a train crossing, and the Black Ops agency bad guy is pushing them in their car into the oncoming train. And it really it's funny, as I was watching it, I'm like, this feels like a callback to something. And I know Spielberg has had train sequences in a number of his movies, and then the guy who did who was kind of partly responsible for the Star Wars trilogy that we ripped on, the sequel, J.J. Abrams, who loves Spielberg. In Super 8, he's got this train sequence, and I felt like it almost feels like trains are I can have a train thing going on. And the action in that sequence is really solid. The special effects are fantastic. I didn't know it was using a real train that is from a New Jersey company. I had no idea about that, but it was a great action sequence. And there is, I think here, if you really truly worry about your character's survival, I wasn't that worried about Daniel, but I was sure that Margaret had to make it. Of course, they both make it. Another spoiler, but I felt like it was an excellent sequence.
Yeah, I do agree with the idea that I did not feel. I mean, you feel the tension because they're hanging. It's kind of a classic train sequence, right? They're hanging off the edge, and someone's foot bounces on the ground, and they fall, and one arm goes down, and then you see other stuff fall, and it explodes. They show you all the classic tropes of this is a dangerous situation, which I don't know why we need that, because you're on a train and you're almost falling off. We all know that's kind of not fun. But I never once felt like, oh shit, one of them might not make it. I guess.
You're just wondering how do they do it?
Yeah, how do they get out of it? Does the other guy, does the bad guy make it? That's more of a question at that point in time. And like you said, again, we're going to spoil a bunch. There's a scene in the trailer that is the climax of the movie. So she has to be there, because how does that happen? And unless there's a week,
got to get disclosed.
There's a flashback thing going on, and they try to pump up some storyline to get her there, but yeah, it's that's really all that they could do. It was still a fun sequence to watch, and again, it quite literally pulled us along this narrative of they're fighting for their lives because there are people who don't want this disclosed. They don't want people knowing what's going on. So, Daniel has the goods. She has the ability to communicate it, and they need to get this word out. And the whole thing is this: it's basically one long chase scene from start to finish of can we get this information out, and how do we do it? It was a great sequence, but I don't think it did anything like groundbreaking. The music was good.
No, I feel this doesn't need a 19.
No.
Like we rolled a 19. This should have been something amazing. But I will say this. I recommend this movie. And if you are a Spielberg fan, classics, it's got a train in it. Apparently that's a thing. But also the lens flares. You got to have some lens flares if you're in Spielberg. I felt like his use of transitions, the character building that he gets from this, and definitely an enjoyable watch. It's a Spielberg movie, and even a bad Spielberg movie is better than some of the best movies of other directors. He really did a great job with this one. So I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a natural 20 myself. It was a really good, and we'll get into the details of this. I'm going to say it like this for now. It really was a good third installment. Whether you really think it's third or not, we'll discuss. But I think it really did the job. We both have some issues that we'll talk about later during hits and fails, but overall, definitely worth seeing. I will say, and I don't usually say it for movies like this, I want you to support this movie. I want you to go to the movies. I want you to spend your money, buy your popcorn, sit in the dark with your friends. It's a great ride. It's a lot of fun. But I will say, I don't know that this needs a big screen. I mean, every movie's better on a big screen, but there was no spectacle. When I go to a theater now, I want to see like a Marvel movie, or I want to see something. I want the scale of what's on screen to be otherworldly, and then the scale of it on a big screen makes me feel that more. This was just people the whole time, right? Not a bad thing. And certainly, great and a great experience, but there was no spectacle that says to me, you need to be in the theater for this movie. Like pre-home theater, when people saw Jurassic Park, they said, you got to go to the theater, because sitting in that chair and feeling and hearing the rumble when the T-Rex comes up, it's a classic clip, like from when they first came out with surround sound for in-home studio. Everybody has it at their house now, but it was a thing. And that they used to go to like Best Buy, and it was when you could feel it. You couldn't do that at home before. So now the game is up. You got to get it bigger. So great movie. Go see it, just because not that Spielberg needs our money, but go see it, support it. But if you
Yeah, I mean, the scenes are tighter.
Go home, it's okay.
Yeah, when for that big screen, you want that spectacle, and that spectacle usually means larger scale models, or the shots are bigger, wider out, showing more territory. This was a tighter film, more intimate, with focused on certain characters or internal environments. And even when you went external, we're often very close. Like in these chase scenes, we were often in the car with the people being chased or the chaser, and then you'd have those shots where you saw a little bit more of the environment. But yeah, it is a tighter movie for shots. I can see that.
Not a bad thing, just kind of where it landed.